Welcome everybody to the Kamayatikai Yoga Space. I'm Kai, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about why we practice yoga. As I mentioned in my previous video, what is yoga according to me? Yoga is a practice. Practice being the most operative word. And I'll just bring up that definition of practice again. Practice is something that you do over and over and over again consistently to develop a skill. And yoga is such a versatile practice, right? And it is such a beautiful teacher because what happens on the mat is what happens off the mat. And also what happens off the mat is what happens on the mat. And so when you bring the practice to your mat, this is a enclosed and private environment for you. And here you are able to unpack things. You are able to unpack and you are able to understand yourself, and you are able to maybe try to implement changes or implement things that you would really like to implement in your life. You can implement them here on the mat. And then when it happens enough here on the mat, it starts to naturally happen in the outside world. I will use something that I learned as an example. I can be terribly hard on myself. I'm a lot better than I used to be, but it used to be detrimental. Like, it used to create a lot of depression for me, a lot of pain. And when I started practicing yoga, I pushed myself so hard that I landed up injuring myself. And that was such a big lesson, because off the mat, I was so hard on myself that I was injuring myself. And it wasn't physical injury, but it was emotional and mental injury. I was beating myself up and I was creating damage to myself that I wasn't even consciously aware of, because this Western society just tells us, go, 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 do everything all at once and never stop. It's not healthy. It's not how we're supposed to operate. And so it was such a big lesson for me, and I had to stop yoga and I had to heal from my injuries, and then I had to come back. And when I was healing from my injuries and I came back to my mat, I had to be slow and gentle and patient and kind and loving and soft with myself, because otherwise I would just hurt myself again or make it worse. And slowly, through becoming all of those things with myself on the mat, I started becoming more of those things with myself off of the mat. And yeah, that's just an example. And now, like I said, it's a constant practice, but I'm definitely a lot better than I used to be. We practice yoga when we want to find harmony, and especially for us from the neurospicy community and for the people from the PTSD and complex PTSD community. Things like depression, anxiety, mind scatter, mental fogginess, constant panic, also being super hard on ourselves. Like, all of these things are things that come naturally to us in these spaces. They just do. And when we are able to come here by ourselves, not with anybody else, not a doctor telling us what to do, not a friend, not a partner, not a parent, anything. When we come here with ourselves and we carve out that time in our day, slowly but surely, we come back home to ourselves. Yeah, speaking about that really hits a spot for me. This is something I'm so passionate about, and that's why I'm doing this. But yeah, especially for us people from the traumatized space and from the neurodivergent space, things have happened in our lives and to us that create degrees of separation between us and our hearts and our souls. And it creates vast degrees of separation. And that's why we'll end up having so many problems and so many struggles. And this practice of yoga, just like one step at a time, it holds your hand and it walks us home. And slowly but surely, I feel like it gently just brings back together the parts of us one by one, just brings us back home to ourselves. And you know what? It's not the main focus of yoga to be physically strong and fit and all of these things that Western yoga has made it out to be. But it is a lovely byproduct. You do land up being physically strong, and you land up being happy in your body. You land up being content and grateful in your body. And when we feel physically strong, we are able to feel mentally strong and emotionally strong and spiritually strong. And we are able to connect more to all 5 of our bodies and the lovely, great interconnected consciousness that we all come from. It's not a quick, one-shot solution that you can do once and it's going to fix everything. It is a process, but it is a relationship that you develop with yourself. It's something that becomes completely your own, and it is a journey that you can walk for your whole life. And it's a path of exploration and discovery that you can walk for your whole life. I've been practicing yoga for 13 years now, and I feel like I've barely scratched the surface, yet I have grown and developed so much. This was me at the beginning of my yoga journey. This was me, and this is me now. And we've come such a long way. And I say we because there's 5 there's 5 bodies in this being and several personalities depending on the week of the month. Yeah, just depending. And we've come such a long way. And so that is why we practice yoga. To come home and to reconnect with ourselves. And from that reconnection, reconnect with the world, reconnect with our paths and our journeys and our dreams, whatever that may be. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe, and please leave comments. I'm really trying to build this community and I'd love to hear from you. So please leave some comments and I'll see you next time.